All right, guys, I made a mistake and I'm gonna own up to it. Drove over the end of my garden hose with my truck, and guess what? Did a number on it. So instead of throwing this expensive hose away, I'm gonna show you how to fix it. And this is an easy DIY project. So the first thing I did is I went down to the hardware store, and you can buy these hose end repair kits. And I like these here with the metal because they're a little more durable. In case I run over it again, it's more protected. And that's not gonna be a bad thing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the end off this thing and put these ends on it. Show you how to do it. So let's take this here. You can take a knife, you can take some scissors. I've got a nice little cutter here. It works well. I'm gonna get back because these are pressed on right here. And so I wanna get back away from that just a little bit so that way we got a good piece of hose that is clean. So we're gonna go in here. There we go, I got that, good to go. That is a toss away. So next up, since I've got the female end of the hose, we're gonna do that with this. Get this out of the package. I'm gonna take the Phillips screws out of this. The packaging out so we can get this thing pressed on. And this is cool because they make these in 5/8 and 3/4. This is a 5/8 hose, which is a little bit smaller. And that way we can fix the end of this. So this will come out of here. I'll get that packaging out of the way. So what I'm gonna do here is, the way this fits is this kind of clamps around and clamps the hose on the outside of this. And so what we'll do is we'll tighten these screws down. But for now, I'm just gonna slide this over the top here. Let's see if I can get this pushed in. Sometimes these garden hoses, you have to fight them a little bit. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get the torch. Let's heat this up. All right, these hoses are made of rubber, which means if you get them a little warm, they're gonna be a little more flexible. What I'm gonna do right here is just give this a little bit of heat. And I mean just a little. If it starts smoking, that's too much. Good heat gun will do the same thing. Now, don't burn yourself on this, but let's see if I can get this to push in. See how much that gave us in flexibility there. So if I can get that end in here. All right, there we go. So I got that up pretty tight up against that. That's gonna be about as far as that's gonna go. Our next step here is to go ahead and take that collar, get it up here behind this. This needs to be able to spin freely so you can hook that on the hose. Let's get that up here and lock this down. So I'm gonna put this right here so I have a steady place to work. Get this locked down right here. It's always good to kind of screw those in equal on either side. Don't use any power tools for this, just a simple screwdriver is the way to do it so you don't strip stuff out. All right, the last thing, don't forget the little washer. This thing will leak badly if you don't. Get that shoved in there so it gets locked in. All right, there we go. That is as good as new, if not better. Now, this is a $5 fix. Instead of buying a $30 hose. The last thing, let's go test it out to make sure it works. All right, guys, it is spring lawn care time. And you know what the winter we had? It's time to get this thing cleaned up. Now, the first step is always get all this organic matter off of here that landed from these trees. So let's do that first. All right, guys, next is I'm gonna take my lawnmower and just give this a nice high trim so I can get all that damage off the top of it so it looks like it's an even cut lawn. And then we're gonna start looking for moss. That's the next step. All right, I'm gonna adjust this up a couple notches higher than I normally would. About right there, so I can just give it a nice top level shelf cut on this thing so it looks good. Let's get to mowing some lawn. All right, our next step is to get down in the soil and see what we're working with and see if I need to add fertilizer, overseed, or deal with moss. All right, guys, this is where the details matter. You gotta get in the grass to see what's going on. Like right here, I've got some serious moss. And the first thing I need to do is take care of this, because if I go overseed this to make this thicker, not gonna work. So my answer is I get some Rid Moss or any one of the other products out there that's meant to deal with this naturally. I can spread this out here, it'll kill the moss, then I can deal with seeding later. So that way I get that green thick lawn. Let's get this spread out. All right, always follow the directions on this stuff to make sure you're doing it safely, but you just unzip it and this opens up and it's its own distribution. So now I can sit here and just shake this out over the mossy areas in the lawn. And I'm only putting it where I need it to go, which is nice because this will do about 280 square feet. All right, guys, this is the easy answer for lawn care, and it's gonna make it look great all summer long. This is the secret to the best lawn in the neighborhood.